Hari Om. I welcome all of you to today's Gita session. This is a very different, unique, and a very thrilling experience, especially today's class. I just want to know with a quick raise of hands, how many of you like playing video games? Very nice. But there's a twist. Whether or not you like video games, or like playing video games for that matter, which is whether your answer is a yes or no to this question, you're still going to enjoy this question, this entire game, because it's not a video game, but it's still a video game. And so it's going to be really thrilling. So, what's the most important thing when it comes to a game? It's the game rules. So let's understand the rules of this game. So this game has two main characters. So you see one here, and the second one is this bird. So this person right here, he's a king. And his name is, any guesses? King Madhava. That's his name. And this little parrot right here, that's his friend. And the parrot's named Dhruva. So the main characters of this game are Madhava and Dhruva. The entire game happens between them, and of course, we're all a part of this game too. So, what exactly happens here? Does Madhava run and the parrot runs behind him, or does he jump? So, what is this all about? So, this is the adventures of Madhava and Dhruva, and we get to be a part of this adventure. What happens is this game has three major levels, and between them, you have lot of these puzzles. So, every level contains mini puzzles. But there's also one major puzzle. So you solve one major puzzle and all the tiny little puzzles to move to the next level. Only if you solve all of these, you go to the next level. Now, the question could be in the end of the game, we all receive something. So, in the games, you get some gold coins, somewhere you get some points. So, why should I clear all these levels? Well, there's a treasure in the end if you clear all the three levels. As in when you clear each level, you get a very precious stone. So when you get all the three stones, you use those three stones in the end to open the treasure. So more about this later, but you get the basics of the rules, that there are some puzzles, some questions, and you will have to answer them. The puzzles itself are so much exciting. Let's just get into level 1. Here's the first puzzle. And mostly it's Dhruva who's asking these questions to Madhava, and Madhava is taking all of our help. So, what is Dhruva's question? So, Dhruva narrates a story. Once upon a time, there was a king who ruled over a large kingdom. There were tiny villages in his kingdom, many of them. But there were two villages that were the most special and unique in his kingdom. That is, generally, anywhere you go, you find a mixture of different people, right? But then these villages were not like that. There was this one village which had very similar people. What they did was they cheated people, they always lied to each other, they engaged in crimes. They always broke rules. This is what they mostly did. So they always used to steal others' things. They would never cook food for themselves, but go to the neighbor's house and steal some bread from there and then eat. So this is the condition of the first village. Here's the second village. Here, all the people seem to almost love each and every other person in the village. They're so kind to each other, always ready to help. They're always speaking the truth. They're really nice to each other. And if they know something good and nice, they also want to teach others that same good and nice thing. But then one day something happens. There's a fire, and the fire spreads really quickly, and it burns down both these villages. Both the villages are now destroyed. They come to the king and they say, "Oh, king, please do help us. Please do something. We don't have a house to live as well. Please help us in any way you can." So the king says, "Oh, fellows of the first village, that is the village of the people who were very deceitful, who were very dishonest." So what the king says is, You are my people. You are under my protection. Don't worry at all. I'm going to build a very beautiful city for all of you. You can all shift there. Just give me 15 days time and I'll give you shelter even for those 15 days. And then you can immediately shift to that particular kingdom. You don't have to go anywhere else. And that one village, which is going to be the most beautiful, will be the place where you all can stay. Then the other people are really happy. That's the other villagers. Now they come and tell the king, so, king, please help us as well. But the king says, no, I'm not going to give you a separate village. I want you all to divide amongst yourselves. That is, they're like 10 people, 10 people, and 10 people. You all go to different other villages under my kingdom, and you can stay in those different villages. I'm not going to build another village for you. So Dhruva stops here and he asked Madhava, what do you think? Is the king a good king, a bad king? Why do you think the king did that? Now, three of you get to help Madhava, but you need to do it very quick. You can't take a lot of time. You should answer it in as short as possible. So Madhava gets more time to think about it himself, come to a proper solution, and tell Dhruva about it. So, who wants to go first? Raise your hand. It can be anything. You can tell me how the king is good or how bad the king is because he helped all of them but didn't help him. Just give it a try. Who wants to try? Yes, Nigda.
Could you just explain it, like the situation again, so I can just tell the answer?
So you understood that there are two different villages, one where the people are really dishonest and one where they're really honest. So the king tells the dishonest people that I'm going to build a better village for you. You don't have to go anywhere else. You'll stay in that one village secured and safe and not go anywhere else. But he tells the villagers who are really good and honest that I'm not going to build another village for you. You just find another place to stay. I have so many other villages. Go stay there.
So does he know that they're honest, like dishonest people or something?
So maybe or may not be, but so do you think it's injustice to all the nice people?
Yeah, I
Kind of. Okay, let's listen to Grihit.
So mostly the king might be bad because I think maybe he might trust always the dishonest people. So he's good to the dishonest people and he's telling no for the good people.
Got it. Very nice, Grihit. Very good, Snigdha. Let's listen to Anya.
Yes, ma'am, can you hear me?
Yes, you're audible.
Ma'am, you said that there were two villages, right? The dishonest people and the good people, honest people, right?
Right.
Yes, and the king somehow he did not know that the dishonest people are being bad, the good people are being good. He somehow did not know that, and he did a mistake that the dishonest people he treated the dishonest people better and the good people
So the
bad.
king made a mistake. He couldn't really judge the villages, right?
Yes.
So let's stop here. Let me tell you the answer now. So the right answer, why the king did that? Do you all want to know? Raise a hand if you want to know. So there's another rule in this game which I didn't tell you. That is to find the answer to this big puzzle, you need to solve all those little puzzles. And only when you're done solving the little puzzles, will Dhruva tell you the answer to that big puzzle. So let's come back to that. But until then, let's revise our shlokas that we've covered so far because this is a revision session. We'll be through the game, we'll also be revising all the shlokas from chapter 9, which is Raja Vidya, Raja Guhya. Does someone want to read the shloka for us? Okay, Anya, go ahead. You're on mute.
Mom, I can't see your screen.
Is it not visible?
No.
The shloka 9.2?
9.2, it's not visible.
Anya, it is visible.
Okay. Why don't you rejoin? Maybe then it'll be visible for you. Just try rejoining. Until then, is there someone else who wants to try reading? Yes, Snigdha. Go ahead.
Raja Vidya Raja Guhyam Pavitram Idam Uttatam Uttama Uttamam
Uttamam. Uttamam.
Uttamam Pratyakshavagamam Dharmyam Susukham Kartum Avyavam
Avyayam.
Avyaya.
Thank you, Snigdha. So it means this knowledge is the king of sciences and the most profound of all secrets. It purifies those who hear it. It is directly realizable in accordance with dharma, easy to practice, and everlasting in effect. So now that you know the shloka, there's a very simple question for you, which is the smaller puzzle. What is the special thing about the divine truth? Why is it so special, so different from other kinds of knowledge?
Ma'am, what does divine mean?
Divine, in simple terms, is something that's related to God, something that feels really nice about, that feels something that feels really good about. So that is divine. Something that's related to God mostly.
Okay, ma'am.
Great. Who wants to answer this question or at least try? So another good thing about this game is you don't necessarily get points for the right answer, but you get points just for trying. So you can still get points by trying. Who wants to attempt? Okay, let's put it in a different way. So so everything is available at some place, right? If I want to find trees, I'll probably get one outside my home. But if I want more trees, I'll find them in some forest. If I want water, then maybe I'll have to go to my kitchen or some river. So if I'm to find the divine, where am I supposed to look for? Should I go to a forest? Is it in school? Yes, Snigdha.
You don't really have to look anywhere because the divine is within yourself.
Excellent. And that is the special thing about the divine truth, which is you look for the divine at different places. But like the story we saw in that session, wherein God wanted to hide at a place where man would find it difficult to look for God, the place is within man himself, because man looks everywhere, but he forgets to look within. So there's also this really nice thing about the divine knowledge. Here in the shloka, it says it's easy to practice and it's everlasting in effect. So why is it easy to practice? Because it's really natural. Is it difficult to drink water or is it difficult to breathe? Not really. We don't even notice when we are breathing because it's very natural. So what seems natural at times is mostly what is dharma, and that is the divine. To be honest, when you're speaking the truth, you don't really think about it. So when I say I did this, and if that's the truth, I don't really think about it. Whereas if I'm dishonest and I say something I haven't done, then I start thinking about it a lot. Oh, I shouldn't be lying. This is really wrong. So it's not very natural to me. So that is one really nice thing about divine truth. Here's the second shloka. Who wants to read this shloka?
Ma'am.
Okay, Anya.
Maya tatam idam sarvam jagat avaktya
Avyakta.
avyakta murtina mat sthani sarvabhutani na chaham tevshvastaha.
Teshvavastitaha. Thank you, Anya. So this shloka reads, this entire cosmic manifestation is pervaded by me in my unmanifest form. All living beings dwell in me, but I do not dwell in them. So let me take someone's example. So Snigdha. So Snigdha, I call you a storming da. How do you feel?
Storming the.
Yeah. Does it make you
So
feel happy? Does it make you sad, angry? How does it make you feel?
that kind of refers to that I'm very like much of an angry person, which I'm obviously not. So that doesn't really make me that happy.
No, what did you hear I called you as?
I heard you say storming Snigdha. I like
No,
storming the.
storming Snigdha. I said calming the.
Comment. Oh, okay, okay. Then I would
Calming
feel
the.
happy. Then I would feel happy.
But what does it mean?
You like I calm other people.
Well, the sound calming da is if I'm pronouncing it right, in Chinese, it means someone who's really smart.
Oh,
So though Snigdha didn't really know what the word means, at once she kind of connected it with some other word, which is storming, and then she felt storming is something or someone who's very angry. And when she made this connection, it made her feel sad. But the next moment, when I asked her to rethink about the sound, she then connected it with something that's calming, and that made her feel happy. But actually, in Chinese, the word means someone who's really smart. But because Snigdha doesn't, I'm assuming Snigdha doesn't know Chinese, that word or that sound shouldn't mean anything to Snigdha at all. But still, she makes a connection to the word, and there are different results. So, what do you understand from this?
it's that it depends on how you like uh hear what hear what they say and how you take it in. So like this is basically how perspectives like it basically depends on how you take the things in. So first I heard you say storming the. So I took it in a since I heard it wrong, I kind of took it in a different way. So it depends on how like you take it in and it depends on also what you say and how you hear it. And then when I heard it properly, I finally got to know what it actually was. But then I didn't really know the meaning of it. But then I thought it as a different word, like calming. So I took it in a different way and I reacted in a different way. But then when you told me the meaning, I soon realized and then I understood what it actually meant. So this basically depends on perspectives and how you really understand what it actually means.
True, perspective plays a great role in this. But there's also another important thing I'd want you to observe, which is sounds on their own don't really have a meaning. We give it some meaning. So,
Yeah.
I say that this particular animal is a monkey. So, monkey, the sound doesn't really connect to that animal, but I connect that word to the animal. And now there are also some ideas in my mind. It could be monkeys are really smart, they're very intelligent, or it could be monkeys are really stupid. So you can have two different ideas. And if someone calls you a monkey based on the ideas that you have, you react a certain way. So this makes us realize that words on their own doesn't really have a meaning. It doesn't necessarily have a meaning, but we give it a meaning.
It
Similarly, everything in the world is some we attach something to all of those objects or all of those words, and we look it in a certain way. So how you feel based on what someone tells you is not really because they tell you that thing, but it's mostly how you look at that thing, how you see that thing, and then you react in a certain way. Which is also to say, when you connect it back to the shloka, the words don't exist somewhere in the universe or somewhere in the world. They exist in your mind. So until today, there was no word called calming da in your vocabulary or in your mind. Today, because you were introduced to it or you took it, you now have it in your mind. Similarly, everything in the world or what you see as your world is in your mind, and therefore everything, the world, the universe, all of it is in you, and you are not necessarily in that world. Similarly, the creation is in Krishna and not Krishna in the creation. That is the inverse. Does someone have a question? Yes, Nikta.
I don't really have a question, but then I want to add on to what you said. Like the way you're saying it, it's like our mind is a dictionary, and each word we hear, or like, so we like each word we hear, we make a meaning to it. And so whenever you hear it next time, like how you said, like next time, like if somebody calls you a monkey, you may take it in a different way. So it's like our mind is a dictionary with these blank pages. And then slowly, whenever you hear a new word, it keeps adding to your dictionary. So that's what I want.
Right. That's the first step. There's another step. It's the way I look at myself. The right way would be I'm the consciousness and I'm not this body or this mind. So all of these tags don't matter. But then there's another way, an alternative way I could look at myself. I can think of myself as someone who's really smart and really intelligent. So if someone calls me a donkey, which I think is a dumb animal or a very stupid animal, then I feel angry because I think I'm intelligent and someone calls me dumb. And I'm not able to accept that. Though it's not really true that just because someone calls me a donkey, I become a donkey. Whether or not the donkey is a certain way or the other way is still a different question. So, Vijayji, did you want to add something?
No, Manya. This was well explained. I think we can
Okay.
move on. Yeah.
Here's the next shloka. Does someone want to read the shloka? Sure, Megha. Megha, you're on mute. Yeah, you can start.
Should I start? मायध्यक्षेण प्रकृतिः श्वेते सचराचरं हेतुनानेन कौन्तेय जगद्विपरिवर्तते.
Excellent, Megha. Thank you so much. This shloka means working under my direction, this material energy brings into being all animate and inanimate forms, O son of Kunti. For this reason, the material world undergoes the changes of creation, maintenance, and dissolution. So this is what the shloka means. Also, while we are reading out the shloka or the meaning, if you have a doubt through that particular shloka, please raise your hand and we'll answer. So here's the next tiny puzzle. How many of you have gone to watch 3D movies in theaters? Have you ever tried removing the glasses in between the movie? So, yes, Megha, would you like to answer that when you remove the glasses, do the characters, like in 3D movie, the characters come closer, all the elements of the movie come closer. But the moment you remove the glasses, do the elements still come closer? Do you still feel that 3D-ness?
Not like whenever the glasses it looks clear, but when I remove it, it's kind of buffering kind of thingy. Like the three of the same characters in one place. Like that.
Right. And also, it's not coming closer to you, is it?
When you're not
Other
audible.
So in the movie, when it's a 3D movie, things come closer to you. So even when you remove the glasses, do they come closer to you? Am I audible?
Yes, man. Yeah, they don't come. Yeah.
They don't, right? So would that mean it's a different movie when you open the glasses or when you wear the glasses?
No, man. Yeah, it's not a
It's
different
the
movie.
same movie, right? So it's
Yeah.
just the difference in the lens or the glasses. Similarly, anything in life, a situation, how a friend talks to you, how what a teacher tells you, all of that is like the movie. You wear a glass, you see it in a different way. You remove a glass or wear some other kind of glass, you see it in a different way. If a teacher tells you your handwriting, I just checked your book, your handwriting is not that great, so, in one sense, you can look at it as someone is criticizing you and you might become angry. But the moment you look at it in a slightly different way, think all she's saying is that I can improve my handwriting. I have a scope to improve my handwriting. So, I need to practice more, and that way I'll become a better version of myself. So, it's the same movie or the same situation, but it's just the different glasses you wear. So there are three glasses: the rajas, tamas and the sattvic class. So you wear different glasses, you see the same thing, and you react to the same situation in different ways. So is this clear? Excellent.
Yes, Manya.
So let's look at this shloka. Who wants to read? Even if you've already read, you can still read. No worries. Yes, Akshat.
अवजानाति मां मूढा मानुषं तनुमाश्रितं परं भावमज्जानन्तो मां भूतमहेश्वरम्
मम भूतमहेश्वरम्
So the meaning, thank you, Akshat. The meaning of the shloka is when I descend in my personal form, deluded persons are unable to recognize me. They do not know the divinity of my personality as the supreme lord of all beings. Here's the second shloka. Akshat, would you like to read this shloka as well? Or is there someone who wants to read? Please unmute. Yes, Akshat. Go ahead.
सततं कीर्तयन्तो मा यतन्तश्च दृढव्रताः नमस्यन्तश्च मां भक्त्या नित्ययुक्ता उपासते.
Thank you, Akshat. The meaning of the shloka is always singing my divine glories, striving with great determination, and humbly bowing down before me. They constantly worship me in loving devotion. So here's the question for all of you. How is a jnani different from an ajnani? Because both the jnani and ajnani have consciousness or awareness. They all have a mind, they also have ego, they also have a body. But what makes a jnani different from an ajnani? Who wants to try? You can take a guess. Like I said, you get points for trying. Yes, Anya.
Ma'am, I think the Gyani is good and the Agyani is bad.
No, not necessarily, but okay, but let's look at it, the meaning. But yes, Vivan.
Jnani is kind and Jnani is okay.
Okay, okay. Okay, let's understand. Yes, Grihit.
So Jnani is good and Agni is fire, which is
It's Ajnani. Ajnani is just someone who is not a Jnani or who doesn't have that particular knowledge. Is an Ajnani. But still, think about it. Yes, Megha.
Manya, so like a Gyani thinks and says something, and a Gyani just says and thinks about the reflects on the consequences later. So Gyani is like thoughtful, aware of his surroundings, while Agyani is not much aware.
True. Very, very right. Thank you, Megha. And one last, Akshat. We listen to Akshat and then we look at the answer. Yes, Akshat.
Ajnani is you can say he's particular and he has knowledge about things, and an Ajnani does not have that much clarity in things.
Clarity. The difference is in clarity. Thank you so much, Akshat. Thank you so much, everyone. Let's understand it in really short way. So, as I told you in the beginning, a Gnani and Ajnani, all of them have something in common. That is, they have like everyone, all animals, even Ajnani and Jnani, their consciousness or their awareness, that's the true self. But apart from that, they also have this body, mind, and ego. So, what differs, or what is the differentiation? The main thing that differs both the Jnani and the Ajnani. The main difference is to what they relate to. So the Jnani knows the truth. He realizes that he is the consciousness and awareness. So he identifies it. He's realized that I am the awareness and I am the consciousness. He realizes that. On the other hand, the Ajnani is not aware of these facts. He is slightly ignorant. He doesn't know that he is the consciousness. He identifies himself as the body, as the mind, or the ego, which again results in the things that most of you mentioned. Like a Gnani knows that he is Krishna, or the Krishna is in him, and he also knows that there is the same divinity or this Krishna in all the other human beings, animals, or all living organisms. And because he sees things that way, he naturally becomes kinder. He naturally has this flow of love towards all beings. And that is how we see as the two people being different. But the root is how they look at themselves, how they identify their true nature as, or whether or not they realize this truth. And with that, this is not me saying it, but the game saying it, that you are all simply mind blowing, because the game is also super amazed as to how you all are answering. So now coming back to that question as to why the king did that, who wants to know? Quick raise of hands. Let me tell you. So the intention of the king was, so finally what happened is, here King Madhava, he listened to all of your answers. So he derived some wisdom from all of your answers, and that's how he reached to this conclusion. So here's the answer finally. So the reason why the king wanted all the dishonest people to stay there and he gave them shelter, but asked the good or the honest people to just go to different villages and stay there, is because he wanted the good people or the honest people to go to different villages and spread their goodness, or to kind of teach other people or inspire others to be as honest as them, to show them how to love people selflessly, how to help others, how to be polite, and all of that. And that is the reason he wanted them to spread. And with that, spread this message of honesty. Be like spread this way of being very natural or being very kind to everyone. But on the other side, he wanted all of those who were dishonest to be in one particular place, because he didn't want that to spread. He wanted that to stay in that place and not spread amongst all villagers, and then realize one fine day that all villagers have become like those dishonest people. So are you mind blown with this answer? Show me if you are. Boo. Great. With that, let's see what happens. Because you helped Madhava solve this puzzle, you get this precious stone, this blue color looking stone. It'll help you in some way, but let's see how. So, what happens next? So, firstly, Dhruva says, very good, everyone, you helped Madhava. So, the parrot is really happy. But with that, we go to level 2. So, Dhruva asks another question to Madhava. He says, because Madhava is also king, Dhruva says, I saw two people in our kingdom fighting. The first person sold his well to the other person, and because he's now bought the well, he now wants to use it. So while he went to get water from the well, the person said, I only sold you the well, but not the water inside it. So now both of them are fighting, because he says, I bought the water with the well, but the other person said, I just sold the water, I just sold the well, but the water is still mine. So now he asks Madhava, now because you are the king, how are you going to solve this problem? Who wants to help Madhava? You can come up with different creative solutions. Yes, Anya.
Ma'am, the other person was wrong because just because he brought the well and sold it to the other person, that doesn't mean the water is his. They can share. They can at least be good. They can share with each other.
They must share. Very nice answer. Yes, Snigdha.
I feel like the person who sold his well actually has a point that he only sold the well. He didn't really sell the water, but
Okay.
instead of fighting about it, he could ask him to give him more money for the water too. That is more smart than just fighting about it.
Okay. Nice answers, both of you, Anya and Snigdha, and you get points for answering, of course. But let's look at how Madhava reacted and what the right answer was. All of it again later, once we're done with level 2. So, with each level, you get the answer to the previous puzzle. Who wants to read this shloka? Yes, Anya, sure.
Ma'am, am I audible?
Yeah, you are.
Ananya yash chintayanto.
Do you
Ma'am,
want to repeat after me? Maybe.
okay, ma'am.
Ananyashchintayanto mam.
Anayash chintayanto, ma'am.
We'll go word by word. Ananyash,
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 Ananyash
Chintayanto mam.
chintayan, ma'am.
Ye jana
Jana
paryupasate
paryupasate
tesham
tesham
nityabhiyuktanam
nityabhiyuktanam
yogakshemam
yogakeshnam
kshemam
shesham
vahamyaham
vayanaham
vahamyaham.
vahamyaham.
Thank you, Anya. So this shloka tells us that there are those who always think of me and engage in exclusive devotion to me. To them, whose minds are always absorbed in me, I provide what they lack and preserve, and what they lack and preserve what they already possess. So here's the first puzzle, which is now what? I want you all to imagine this situation. So there are like 15 days to 20 days left for the exam. You just realize that you haven't studied anything for this, let's say, science exam, and you don't know anything. You haven't been focusing in the class. You didn't concentrate, nor did you do the homework. You didn't come back home and study. You just have 15 days left for the exam, and there's a lot of syllabus for you to cover. Let's say 20 chapters. So what will you do? Yes, Megha. Yes,
So,
Megha.
so what I do is just I'll take a deep breath. I'll sit down to study. I'll go to learn one chapter. Then I'll move on to the others. Like finish minimum 2 chapters in one day, so I can complete the whole syllabus in 10 days.
Very nice. Excellent, Megha. Yes, Nigda.
So I'd rather do the same thing. Like I would study. It's actually more easier because if it was like any other subject, it would have been a bit more difficult. But since it's only one subject, which is science, then I would like study 2 chapters like in like one day. So then later I would have some days left over where I could do some revision and all complete my homework and all that stuff.
Excellent. Very nice, Snigdha. Very good, Megha and Snigdha. So connecting back to the shloka. So we remember we saw this really beautiful story of Mata Amritamani and the parrot and the man. So the first lesson that the parrot gives to the man is do not regret doing something in the past, or don't keep living in the past. Sure, you did some mistake, you can learn from it and move on, but don't keep regretting it and keep thinking about it, wasting the precious moments in the present. So by not focusing in the class or whatever you did in the past, it only wastes more time to keep thinking about it and to keep telling yourself how bad I did that, and like why did I do that? I should have done it the other way. Sure, you can think about it for once and bring down all the mistakes you did and try to find solutions and promise yourself to not repeat that, do the same thing in the future. But then to keep thinking about it and being sad over it is not the best idea. The second lesson that the parrot gives is, we'll come to that, but then this is the first lesson is what we'll apply here, is that you don't think about the past but live in the present, do whatever you can. And like Megha said, so now you know what you need to do, plan accordingly, stop thinking about the past, and you can still do it. This is also we see in that story wherein the boy, though he is late, he keeps trying to hit the bell, and because his efforts were really sincere and he kept trying, he didn't give up, there came some help from somewhere. A stranger, a total stranger, he comes and helps him. So if you keep trying innocently, if you keep giving your sincere efforts, with you put all your heart into that one job and you keep studying science, then it will somehow work. But just remember to focus on the process, to keep trying to make yourself better and not think about the past. So this is the first puzzle which you all aced completely. Here's the second question, which is, okay. So let's say I tell you that to get better marks, you need to run 1 kilometer every day. This is one thing I tell you. Then I tell you a second thing. To get even better marks, what you should do is go to the nearest wall in your house, do twice tum tum, hit your head on the wall. So what will you do listening to this advice that I give you? Yes, Nigda.
I'll say that I'm not a dumb person. I'll not do any of them.
Great. Yes, Akshat. What do you think? What will you do?
Maybe running 1 kilometer is okay, but in the first situation, I would not do it.
Okay. And the second one? Would you do it?
And the second one, hitting my head, I will. No, I won't do it.
Okay, great. So
It is so
let's connect
ridiculous.
this back to what. Yes, Anya, go ahead.
Ma'am, I'll say okay, but then when I go home, I'll be like, Mummy, Appa, I'm not doing this at all. I won't do it.
Very nice. We got so many different perspectives. Let's break it down and understand. So, the moment someone tells you anything, it could be good or bad, but your duty is to question. But not just question because it makes you feel smart or just for the sake of it, but more of these sincere questions to understand that better, mostly to examine what he or she is saying. So if I say running 1 kilometer to get better marks, so you examine each and everything of it. Why does running, or if running helps, how does it help? So it probably because of exercise, it makes your mind more calm. It probably enhances blood flow and all of that, and probably all of that together result in better grades, maybe because it helps me concentrate better. But what about this 1 kilometer? Should I necessarily run 1 kilometer, or can I also do other kind of exercises? So you examine this. So you now this is one thing. The second thing that I told you, hit your head to the wall. So you've got to examine that as well. Does it really lead to something? And if it does lead to something, is it worth it? All of these. And how do you do this? So let's say I don't know because I'm not a scientist. And maybe hitting, though out of common sense, it does feel that hitting my head to the wall does no good. And but let's just say in some other situation, I don't really know based on the knowledge I have whether or not I should be doing it. But like Anya said, maybe you can go back home, talk to your parents or someone you trust, and you can tell them that this is what someone's suggesting. Should I do that? Would that really help me? So it's always better to question, to find out more and more, and not blindly trust someone. Like the genius parrot in Mata Amritanandamayi's story. So if someone tells you something, remember to examine. With that, here's the next shloka. Who wants to read?
Manya, may I request Diya and Disha to read?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead. You can start reading.
यान्ति देववृता देवान् पितॄन् यान्ति पितृवृताः भूतानि यान्ति भूतेज्या यान्ति मद्याजिनोऽपि माम्.
Thank you so much, Diya and Disha. The meaning of the shloka is worshippers of the celestial gods take birth amongst the celestial gods. Worshippers of the ancestors go to the ancestors. Worshippers of the ghosts take birth amongst such beings, and my devotees come to me alone. With that, here's this question. But how? But what exactly is this question pointing towards? Which is, let's say I want to be this I want to be the rank one student in my class or the best dancer in my school. So I want to be this, but how am I going to achieve it? So here's this situation. Let's say that is what I want. I want to be the best dancer in my school. How should I go about it? Who's going to suggest? Yes, Sanya.
Ma'am, when I say I want to be the best dancer, all I do is I just go home. I just play the song that I want to work on, the songs and all I want to work on, the rhythm and everything. I practice all these steps I need to do, and then as long as I keep practicing, I say to myself that as long as I keep practicing, I keep practicing, I still get it. I don't worry, Anya, I'll still get it. And then I keep on practicing till I do it great and perfect.
Excellent. Very nice, Anya. So, if I want to be something, then I'll have to look at how do I be that. So, if the question is how do I be the best dancer or a good dancer, then like Anya said, maybe shortlist some songs, find out some moves, then keep practicing, seek guidance, keep telling yourself that you can do it, and then you just keep practicing, you keep doing it, then you definitely will be able to achieve it. This is because there is, with this sincere effort or this sincere intention of doing something for good or because you really want to do it without any ill intention, then the divine will himself help you or felicitate that process. But there's also this really nice thing, which is you are the creator of your own destiny. So whoever you are today is also because of what you done yesterday or what you did the day before yesterday. So if your grade is in a certain way, then that's because of the way you studied, how much you studied, what you studied. If you run a certain way, it's because of all of your habits you've been practicing for the last few months or even years. With that realization, you should also know that in future, if I want to be a certain thing, then you first of all identify the process or the way you're going to do that particular thing, then you keep doing it, because like the shloka tells us, you are the creator of your own destiny. You can build and shape your future. With that, who wants to read shloka 9.26?
I want to nominate Sanvi for that.
Sure, Sanvi. Go ahead and you may start reading.
पत्रं पुष्पं फलं तोयं यो मे भक्त्या प्रयच्छति तदहं भक्त्युपहृतम् अश्नामि प्रयतात्मनः.
Thank you, Sanvi. The shloka reads, if one offers to me with devotion a leaf, a flower, or a fruit, or even water, I delightfully partake of that item offered with love by my devotee in pure consciousness. So here's the question, and why? So let's say I helped someone. So why did I help them? So let's take this example. So you're walking home from school. You see a hungry dog on the street. Now, you also see a bowl next to the dog and you see that it's empty. What you do is you bring out your water bottle, fill that bowl, and you let the dog drink. Now, I want to ask you, why did you help the dog? Snigdha, do you want to answer?
Because it makes me feel good.
Okay. And Akshat?
The dog is hungry or thirsty, so I put water and it drank. And doing this act is not an bad thing, it's a kind thing. And it even uh, quenches the thirst of the dog.
And what was your main intention when you gave the water? Why did you give the water?
My main intention was to help the dog.
Very nice. Thank you so much, Akshat and Snigdha. So, Krishna says not only helping or doing a good thing or a good deed, but what is equally important is why you do that. So, if you help someone, it's also important as to why you help someone. So, there are two possible ways as to why one could have helped the other. One is where it made the person feel really powerful or it made him feel really good. It boosts his pride. He feels, oh, I'm so great, I gave food for so many people, like Yudhishthira in the story that we listened to. This could be one way, but the other way is where you very selflessly do it without really thinking about what it does to you, but purely helping the other person. Like Akshat's example, wherein he gave water to the dog only because he felt that would help the dog. It would, because the dog is really thirsty and he had nothing else in his mind. That was his sole intention. So it's not just what you do, but also why you do. What is your feeling behind it? Because Krishna also looks at the feeling behind your acts. With that, here's shloka 9.27. Who wants to read?
I nominate Mrinal.
Sure. Mrinal, please go ahead and read the shloka.
Okay, Manya. Yatkaroshi yadashnasi yajjuhoshi dadhasi yattapasyasi kaunteya tatkurushva madarpanam.
Thank you, Mrinal. The meaning of the shloka is whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer as oblations to the sacred fire, whatever you bestow as a gift, and whatever austerities you perform, O son of Kunti, do them as an offering to me. This shloka tells us that all actions must be done as an offering to the divine. But the puzzle I bring here is that is it really possible to do everything that I do or everything that you do as an offering to Krishna or as a selfless service? So the first question would be to all of you. Please raise your hand and answer. So let's say I really like cooking and I cook every day. So can I do something or do cooking in a certain way that becomes a service? Yes, Anya.
Ma'am, what I actually think to myself is at first I think that, oh no, I can't cook this. What will I do? Will I burn myself? But once I try it, I think that I can do this, And then I start cooking it. And then it becomes a service, becomes good.
By service, here we mean helping someone else selflessly. Like, remember the example of the doctor, Dr. Modi, who operated eyes and removed cataract, which enabled people to see again. So that was a service because he didn't expect anything in return, but did that rather selflessly. So, yes, Nigda.
So how this can become a service is that first of all, you yourself from within should think it as a way of giving it as a service. So first you have to master in whatever you're doing. It's not only cooking, it can be anything else. First you have to master in whatever skill you have, and then you can use it as a service. So like cooking, you can use it as a service if you are fully mastered in it, like you can become a cook or you can become a chef. So it's only if you put the hard work and you apply for any job or something and you master in that particular skill.
Thank you so much, Snigdha. So let's stop here. I want all of you to think more about this one question as to how you can, whatever you're doing currently, it could be studies, it could be drawing, painting, literally anything that you're doing. Think about how you can use that skill to help someone selflessly to do that act, something that you're already doing as a service. So I'd also want you to list down 5 things that you do every day and how you can do the same thing as a service. So this is something I'd want all of you to think, and we'll resume from here in the next session and we'll continue this game. Thank you everyone. Hari Om.
Hari Om, ma'am.
Anya,
Hari Om, ma'am.
Om, ma'am.
you didn't help us answer the Madhava puzzle. That is also for next week.
Yeah, that's also for the next week. So only when you solve all of these tiny puzzles will we get the answer to the bigger puzzle. That's the rules that the parrot has set, Dhruva has set.
Ma'am?
Yes, Anya.
Ma'am, I was looking through my Gita book and I have actually a Gita book over here. And I was looking into it and I found some shlokas in this. I had found a shloka. Can I read it out?
Sure. So why don't we do the closing prayers first, and then whoever is in a hurry can then leave, but the rest of us can stay back and listen to Anya shloka, or maybe you can also share it in the next session. So Vijayji, do we first do the closing prayers?
Yes, ma. I'll stop the recording now. Thank you all.
Okay.
Hari Om.